Y'all remember that day when Mikey posted that photo with NBA Youngboy? This story takes place the day before that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the story about the richest girl. We'll call her a girl. We won't call her a B-word. The richest girl I ever, because she's not a B-word. That'd be mean. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a story about the richest girl I ever pulled. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a real nigga tales or you're not capping hard enough today, so I decided to do a real nigga tales. I got my girl in the other room, so we gotta kind of keep it down. But anyways, let's get it going. So yeah, this story takes place, like I said, the same day Mikey, or the day before Mikey took that photo. So it was a few years ago. A few years ago, I wasn't with my girl, anything at the time. Everything's good or whatever, right? So I found this white girl on Instagram. She was fine as hell. She had a decent amount of followers. I want to stay kind of vague because I don't want y'all to figure out who it is. Anyways, so I FaceTimed her. I DM'd her, and then we FaceTimed that same day. And then I want to say maybe the day after that, we linked up. She came to my house in a Mercedes-Benz. Like, I'm outside telling me to hop inside her car. I'm like, oh, all right, cool. We went on a fucking, what's that shit called? Botox. We went on a Botox first date. Never in my life have I done some shit like that, but in California, you will do some weird ass rich white girl, rich bitch shit like that. So we went on a Botox date. I can't even really call it a date. She just had to get Botox before we went like to the mall and got some food, and she asked if I didn't mind tagging along. So I'm like, sure. So I'm just sitting there in the room while she's talking to like the two doctors getting the Botox. I'm like, what the fuck? That shit was odd. That was the only time I've ever done anything like that. That has nothing to do with the story. I just thought it was funny. Anyways, back to the story. So yeah, this girl had her shit all together, bro. Like, this girl was low-key smart as a motherfucker. That might be the reason why she was rich. Like, obviously she was rich off the OnlyFans shit, but she was very smart with it. Like, she had managers and assistants that made sure that she posts every single day on Instagram. She would keep her account on private because she would say, like, you make more followers on private. And they would accept the request like clockwork. Like, her shit was very, very, very organized and very strategic. And because all of you niggas, well, not you guys specifically, but because all the niggas out there, so, well, you guys too. But because all the niggas out there are so goddamn thirsty, this bitch was literally posting in like the cheapest clothes imaginable, banging big likes, 100,000 plus likes, right? Banging hella likes in the simplest, cheapest outfits possible, just raking in all of that money. And this girl was really smart about it. She wasn't blowing it on bags and shit like some of the other bitches be doing. Nah. This bitch was saving her bread, boy. She had a stupid ass house, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me calm down. So yeah. So as we're in the mall, she's just buying hella shit. And as she's buying hella shit, she's basically explaining to me, like, you know, like how she runs her shit and how they get money and blah, blah, blah. So I was pretty impressed. But, you know, it's the first time I ever was with her. So I'm used to people, like, lying and overcapping to try and make themselves seem cool and lit. Like, that's like what most people do, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's first impression type shit. So I'm taking all of this information in with the glass half full or whatever, right? It wasn't until I pulled up to her house that I was like, nigga, what the fuck? boy, she live in one of the neighborhoods just like DDG, boy, where it's nothing but rich ass cribs next to you, around you, nigga. All the cribs around you damn near bigger than your crib. Like, it's a fucking gate just to get in that shit. Like, nigga, I'm like, and she was in that bitch dolo. Not even a dog in that motherfucker. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? That shit was crazy. I want to say she was making over 100K a month easily for a while. And she was telling me like, oh yeah, these are my projections, and if I keep doing this, I should hit 1 million by this point and this by that point. I'm like, damn. She was really capping her ass off. So you might be thinking to yourself at this point in the story, oh, Clark, that sounds pretty lit. What's the problem? Well, there's 3 problems. One of them is very minor. And I almost don't want to say this. I hope this don't give her away. Anyways, I'm high. Anyways, one thing she used to put potato chips in the freezer. And when I got to her house, she went in the freezer and got some chips out of the freezer and started eating them and shit. She was like, is that weird? Bye. I'm like, no, that's normal. Whole time I had never seen nobody do that before in my life. I'm just pausing because I hope that didn't give it away. Anyways, but that wasn't the main thing. I'm joking. That was a joke. This is gonna sound kind of fucked up. But we're on Patreon. I can be honest with y'all, right? This is probably never gonna go on YouTube, so I can be honest with y'all. I can be honest with y'all niggas, right? She had a TMAC on her shit. The old Tracy McGrady. The old Stuart Scott. The old Ron from Love Island. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't notice it. I didn't notice that shit in any of her pictures. The whole time we was at the mall, didn't notice it. Back at her crib, didn't notice it. It wasn't until we started having sex. Oh my God, I know this sounds bad, but I swear to you guys, it is the truth. That motherfucker came out in the worst ways. Now let me explain. Let me try and paint the picture for y'all. In order to nut, right, guy or girl, you have to only be thinking about that, right? Like you can't be thinking about like your stocks or something. Like you have to have a very concentrated thought, right? So because she was so focused on the sex and how good it felt, her other senses were like, yeah, you don't need to pretend to not show your lazy eye, because she was so focused on the sex and not displaying the lazy eye. Does that make sense? So when she would get real into the sex and start making these really sexual, like drooling, like these really sexual faces, she would forget about the eye. I'm dead ass. she's a really nice girl, you know. So I thought that I could get over it. From the very first time we had our encounters, our sexual encounters, I noticed it. And you know, I thought I could get over it. Now let's fast forward. That was the first day. Now let's fast forward to day 2. Link back up with her. Today's the day that Mikey's supposed to be doing the photo, playing with NBA Youngboy. He hit me up earlier in the day like, yo, I'm finna be in LA, whatever. I'm about to meet up with NBA Youngboy, whatever. And I told him, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm with this girl, whatever. Just hit me when you about to head that way. He ended up hitting me saying he was gonna go that way, and then I ended up not going. Not even being like, yo, can I come with you? Because I wanted to stay with this little crooked TMAC bad bitch with a lot of money. So I might have dropped the ball on that one. Mikey might have been like, nah, you can't come, but he also probably would have been like, yeah, bro, pull up with me. That might have probably been why he was mentioning it to me. Damn, I should have pulled up. Fuck! I'm not bullshitting, like, I'm pissed. Anyways, so, day 2. Hold on, I have to take this. So yeah, it was day 2. And, you know, we had sex a few more times. And every time the eye would pop out. And the sex was great, but the eye was really throwing me off. And I wasn't able to get past it. So from that point, I kind of knew that shit was kind of capped. But I still was like fucking with the girl because she was dope and had a lot to offer. So I still wasn't like completely over it. And then that is when the second deal breaker, the second thing that she did that gave me the ick kicked in. I feel like for girls, maybe like one thing a guy does will give them the ick and they'll be like, I'm over it. But with guys, I feel like it takes a few things. Like, you gotta ick us out a few ways. Like, just one ick, I'm like, all right, that's fine. No big deal. I just won't look at it. I just put my head down or something. But then when the second ick came in, oh man. So this is the second ick. And after I give this second ick, I'm gonna pose a question to you guys. So the second ick was we were sitting down eating some shit at her house. And I don't think she was drunk. I don't think she drinks. But she mentioned to me somebody that she had a relationship with. And that person was somebody that I was kind of a fan of. And it just made shit weird. Basically, okay, so there's this fashion designer. I'm not going to say who. I'm not going to blow his spot up. But there's this fashion designer that at the time, not really so much now, I still fuck with him. But at the time, I was really fucking with him. And then out of nowhere, here comes this girl sitting down on this couch talking about she used to talk to this guy. First, she told me she used to talk to this failed SoundCloud rapper, but that didn't even gross me out because I don't have any connection to that nigga. I don't know that nigga. I'm like, whatever, I don't give a fuck. But I'm not gonna say that nigga name either. But yeah, anyways, then she was like, yeah, I used to talk to this fashion designer, blah blah blah, and we went out a few times, and then he just ghosted me, and I hit him up a bunch of times, and he never replied to me, and then I seen him somewhere, and he was just acting funny. So it's like literally the worst story imaginable. This nigga that I kind of look up to and kind of want to be like in this fashion shit, she's telling me that this nigga rammed her, probably raw dogged her just like me, and then ghosted the shit out of her, probably for the first reason I brought up. And just dogged her out, and now I'm just supposed to, you know what I'm saying? And that, when she told me that, it just really sort of fucked it up for me. One thing that I found is that a lot of the girls that you guys think that you want to hit, girls that you feel like you can't pull, if you were able to pull those girls and then find out the niggas that they hit before you, I feel like that shit would bother you a lot more than you realize. I'll give you an example. Like Bella Hadid, to me, is a girl that I cannot pull, that I think is phenomenal. If I knew all of the dudes that Bella Hadid hit and maybe some of the things that Bella Hadid has done, it might be tough for me. And I think that those thoughts we got as fellas don't think enough about, but they can be really detrimental to a relationship. So I guess my question to y'all is, if you pull this girl, let's do an extreme example. Let's say Zendaya, even though we probably know Zendaya doesn't have a slutty past. Let's just say you pulled her, and she had hit a few niggas that you've really fucked with, really looked up to, and they had just slimed her out, dogged her out, trained her, all type of crazy shit. Would that shit matter to you? Keep in mind, nobody else knows. The general public does not know, but you know. You know that shit to be a fact. She fucking around told you by accident. You know that shit to be a fact. I remember this one time, there's this one girl from Canada. I was talking to her on the phone, and she accidentally told me that like 6 niggas at her job ran a train on her. I swear to God, I've never heard a girl tell me this before in my life. I wasn't even next to her in real life. She told me this over the phone. I'm like, what the fuck? But I don't know. So I guess my question is, would it matter to you? Would shit like that matter to you? Would you want to know? Would you not want to know? Would it matter to you? But anyways, after she told me that, it was pretty much Rap City for me. Rap City. It sucks because I've always wanted to experience a rich bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, I think this is the richest girl I think I've ever pulled. Like, there's other girls I've, like, DM'd that have more money, bigger houses, shit like that, but I've never been able to, like, reel them in. This might have been the richest girl I pulled, so it wasn't an easy decision to me, but yeah, it was Rap City. And then, yeah, it's funny, I seen her go on somebody else's stream, who I'm not going to say who. I seen her go on some famous person's stream and say that she doesn't let niggas raw dog. And I'm sitting there watching that shit like... Anyways, I done said too much, man. My parents is watching this, most likely. We here though, fuck it. We here, we've arrived, nigga. Anyways, that's gonna do it for me. Smash that like button, boy. Smash that like button. I'm sorry I had to do it in this voice, but you know the black is hot. The black is fucking hot. You know what I'm saying? No kissy, the black is hot. You feel me? That's gonna do it. Leave likes. Smash that like button. Leave some comments. Had a little TMAC on her shit. She was fucked up. And I'm gonna be back tomorrow with some more shit about peace.